Christmas is supposed to smell like roasted turkey and cinnamon. That year it smelled like toner and bad intentions. I walked into my in-laws' dining room expecting Norman Rockwell. No food, no music, just a stack of papers where the turkey should have been. Clara, my wife of 8 years, sat at the head of the table like she was chairing a board meeting. Beside her, Renee, best friend, amateur executioner, phone already recording. "Merry Christmas, Alex," Renee purred. "We've got a present for you. Divorce papers." Of course. They wanted a show. Me begging, bargaining, breaking. Men are predictable, Renee liked to say. I picked up the pen, read every page, and signed like I was authorizing a grocery receipt. Then I slid my own envelope across the table. Since we're exchanging gifts, their smiles twitched. 3 months earlier, I'd still been playing devoted. Husband. 6:30 alarms, middle management grind at Pinnacle Solutions, enough coffee to fuel a small city. Clara had quit her marketing job to find herself. What she found were 2 a.m. girls' nights, designer clothes I hadn't bought, whispered phone calls that ended the second I walked in, and Renee, always Renee, installed on our couch like a houseplant that judged me. I kept telling myself marriages had seasons. That patience would fix it. Then, on a Tuesday in October, Clara left her phone on the kitchen counter and Operation Freedom lit up the screen. Group chat, Clara, Renee, and a couple of their new friends planning how to serve me papers at Christmas for maximum impact. Someone wondered what if I didn't cry. Renee replied, "He'll crumble like a stale cookie." Something in me shifted, didn't break, just clicked into place. The next morning, I called in sick for the first time in years and found a private investigator. Luis Romero, ex-Chicago PD, gravel voice, zero nonsense. I handed him a folder of receipts that didn't add up, bank statements with withdrawals I didn't make, and credit cards I'd never seen. He asked the right questions. He didn't flinch. A week later, he had answers. Clara wasn't just done with our marriage. She and Renee were siphoning money from our joint account and prepping to clean me out while I bled in public. Luis introduced me to Maya Lee, an investigative reporter who'd made a career out of turning schemes inside out. "This isn't just messy," she said. "It's criminal." They had surveillance photos of Clara and Renee with a bottom-feeder divorce attorney named Marcus Webb. Man specializes in asset maximization for wronged spouses, which is grift with a tie. They had bank paperwork for accounts I didn't know existed. Transfers, timelines, receipts. We set a trap. I'd wear a button camera to Christmas dinner, let them stage their little play, sign, and then present Exhibit A through Z. Maya would be down the street in a van, watching the live feed, story ready to publish the second the fuse burned down. Weeks before Christmas, I learned something else. While Clara tuned out whenever I talked about work, I'd quietly built a second life she never asked about. 6 months earlier, I'd started a consulting firm with an old friend, Noah Patel, Patel Heart Strategies, helping small businesses stop hemorrhaging money. We ran it out of his spare bedroom, signed clients, stacked wins. By December, we had 23 active contracts, and my share was worth 7 figures. Everything above board. Separate books, separate accounts, bulletproof, and the house? In my name. My father, suspicious in the old country way, had insisted on it when he helped, with the down payment. I'd rolled my eyes back then. I don't anymore. Christmas Day came wrapped in tinsel and dread. Clara hummed carols all morning like a kid who already knew what was under the tree. At her parents' place, the lawn was a light show in the dining room was a stage. Family lined the walls, unsure if they were witnesses or extras. Papers waited in a neat stack. "It's over, Alex," Clara said, voice soft and practiced. Renee leaned forward, phone alight. "Sign. Don't make it harder than it has to be." I signed. Calm, efficient, predictable. Then I slid the envelope. Clara. Opened it and color drained from her face. Photo. Her and Renee with Marcus Webb at a coffee shop 2 weeks earlier. Next, them at a bank. Clara signing, Renee hovering. Then bank statements for shadow accounts, transaction logs, transfer ladders. A constellation of bad decisions, all with timestamps. This isn't, Clara began, voice shaking. It's exactly what it looks like, I said, tapping the tiny lens at my shirt. And this? I lifted my phone. A live feed. Say, hi to Maya. The room went so quiet I could hear the inflatable snowman deflating on the lawn. What followed looked like dominoes falling in slow motion. Maya's article ran 2 days later, a meticulous blow-by-blow of the plot, complete with excerpts from the Christmas footage, Luis's investigation, and interviews with 3 other men Webb's network had fleeced. It wasn't just our marriage. It was a pattern. Clara's world collapsed. Her social media turned to ash. The marketing firm severed ties. Renee, self-appointed mastermind, lost her real estate job when her boss discovered she'd been moving money on company time. The state bar sniffed around her, consulting. Webb tried to sidestep the blast. It still singed his reputation. In court, their strategy evaporated under fluorescent lights. Judges don't love conspiracies captured on film. Our joint accounts froze. The business remained untouchable. The house stayed mine. Clara's claims of emotional distress wilted next to evidence of fraud and a planned public ambush. The recording light on Renee's phone became exhibit material. For me. 6 months later, I'm in a corner office with my name on the glass. Patel Hart moved out of the spare room and into the skyline. 12 employees, a wait list, clients who say thank you and mean it. I sold the old house to a couple starry-eyed enough to deserve it and bought a place 20 minutes out where the neighbors wave and go about their lives. No whispered calls on the patio, no mystery charges, peace, which is louder than you think. I'm dating again. Sarah's a veterinarian who believes honesty is a habit, not a slogan. When I told her the whole story, the group chat, the sting, the envelope, she didn't flinch. You learn to stop being a target, she said. That's not bitterness. That's boundaries. Sometimes people recognize me from Maya's story and tilt their heads with that mix of pity and respect. A few men pull me aside and whisper, I wish I'd fought back. There are more Webbs and Renees out there than you'd expect. More predictable men, too, waiting to be told who they are. Clara texted me once, months after the dust settled. A long message about confusion and manipulation and how she never meant for it to go that far. I read it. Then I deleted it. Not out of revenge. Out of self-respect. Renee used to say men like me are predictable. She wasn't wrong. Not at first. I worked. I trusted. I hoped. But predictability ends the moment you pay attention. The game looks different when you stop playing the role they cast for you. Back at that Christmas table after the papers and the envelope and the panic, Clara stared at the evidence and whispered, "What did you do?" "Nothing special," I said. "I listened. I learned. I stopped being the prize and started being a player. Men are predictable," she'd been told. Maybe, until we aren't.